I feel like I've done this before, because I have. So this is the second time that I'm going about this, because the first time I learned all the lessons, and this is going to be the real one. So this is day one. So I'm going to get back to that in a second. So I have to shout out, just to get this narrative rolling, is that I did a TEDx talk in Thunder Bay at Lakehead University about a week or two ago, and the whole operation was a milestone in my life, because I had to figure out what I wanted to talk about. And so because I really like the idea of ideas, and I really like the idea of teaching something interesting that people maybe haven't learned yet, or something new. And I took what I know best, which is people in business. Okay? But what's great about that is that it's not just people in business, it's just people in general, because a lot of the ideas have they're the same. It has to do with people operating as people, and a lot of people operate as people in business, but the difference isn't really anything anymore, because they're remote work, everything's the same, right? Or how about this? They bleed their business feelings into their personal life. And that became something I was very interested in, extremely interested in, actually, because it kind of made me realize why I do certain things as well, and especially when it comes to the operation of my business. So I'm going to say this right now, that I rebranded 5 years ago my company to The Automated Method, because I did have a 5-year plan, and inside that 5-year plan was teaching, which is public speaking too, and kind of influence, because I knew that the way that social media was going, and the way that the world was going, and even before, like 2010, so it's like 2019 going, it's December 2019 going into 2020, and so I knew then that social influence was marketing 10 years ago, right? And so my business didn't really carry that ability with it. So I said to myself, rebrand. And if you rebrand your business, then what happens is you can plan better. And so I did that. And so inside all of that is the reason why The Automated Method is becoming what it is now in 2020, which is a 5-year plan. So let's say that the TEDx talk changed everything, okay? Because I really had something that was bothering me. And I will say this every single time. It's when you pitch ideas and you think that they're revolutionary, you think that that's going to be the end-all be-all solution to someone's problems and answer all their questions. But it isn't, because there's lots of ego involved, and there's a lot of pride, and that's why people have fear of change. So fear of change is obviously what I targeted. And it's amazing, because that's what a lot of people are targeting, especially a lot of speakers, right? Because that's like the surplus of correction material, like, out there. Because there's so many leadership problems, and there's so many indecisive, movement between like traditional to modern thinking. And that's a mindset thing, and I just want to watch that, because I don't want to overuse these buzzwords, but that's kind of where I was going with my business, is that I wanted to make a business that was automatic, using like cloud apps and a cloud stack that had all the same wireframe and operation that, say, all businesses in now have, and then be able to share with you how it works and what it does for me personally and on a business. So like in terms of my own business, my own human operation and feeling, and then my business operation and how my business succeeds from, being automatic in a lot of ways. And so these are where these channels all came together. So I wrote a 30-day program, and I followed it while I was writing the TEDx talk. And what did I learn about myself? Everything, right? Ritual is everything, journaling is everything, and these are things I was already doing, but I just went way more rigorous, and I actually followed them to, a T. And like getting up at the same time every day, and changing all interaction with my iPhone, like my smartphone, whatever, Android, you could have an Android, it doesn't matter, but basically changing my relationship with technology, but at the same time using technology to my advantage, because the bottom line was I wanted to express that the reason why I enjoy what it is that I do is because I like finding out how to make people only do the things, or finding out how to provide the luxury to people so they understand that there is an alternative so that they can have fun doing it or be better at something because they don't have to do the things they don't want to do. That's basically it. Now you can imagine how this is all going to go down. So I don't want to talk forever, but there was the TEDx thing, and then I said to myself, well, now you got to start posting on the internet, posting your video chat and your videos, and your podcast. And the podcast is Monkey Business and Robots. And that's the confessional where I, in a comedic way, hopefully all the time, it's entertaining, that's for sure. I talk about traditional methods and modern, just in a way that it kind of gets it out there so that people can understand, and it's also good for social content, which I'm going to talk about as well, because this is all marketing. That's all this is. The final piece of the automated methods puzzle is social strategy and explaining it, and also having a narrative and a story to tell, which is what I'm going to do. So I've expressed this in a 30-day program, and this is day 1. And so each day I'm going to talk about all the same things that I undergo in a 30-day period, and also personally what it does for me and what it does for my business. And it's going to get real, because the one thing, and I just said this, I just recorded this in a voice note, which is, I can talk about that as well, how I record my ideas as voice notes, because it's path of least resistance, stream of consciousness, right? Like, I didn't realize that was probably the game changer. Let's just take a second here for that, because I gotta respect that movement. Podcasting is just like radio. The video setup takes more quality control, right? Like, I've got a tripod in front of me right now with my iPhone with a ring light, for God's sakes. So I can understand, and also it's face forward, right? So people think, how do I look? And there's so many different things. So with the podcasting, because it's just an audio file, changed everything, because I could just talk into my phone through my AirPods and then record and then publish, edit quickly and publish if I wanted to. So that was like where my story changed, because now I had a path of least resistance, stream of consciousness. So this is day 1, and we're going to talk about everything. And what I was just talking about in the Monkey Business and Robots podcast was that by operating in my own ritual design that I, hope to share with anybody that needs any mentorship, coaching, or any sort of leadership training whatsoever, so that they can, a small business or medium business can have like an executive way of thinking and then a team way of thinking using all the right technologies. That's what this whole idea was for. And if you want a snake eating its own tail, this is me being as transparent and honest as I can by applying my own designed program. I had a side effect that I didn't think was going to happen, which is the best way to start this conversation is these tactics and these strategies allow you to be present, which is like what everybody wants. And that is time. And then it's like a clear mind. And so my clear head, because I can get all this out, because all my baggage that affects me as a person personally, my performance, my interaction with other human beings, anything that, I maybe didn't even like about myself, I had to start thinking about it every day at the same time, and journal everything. And being present and having that operational hour or 2 or 3 before I had to get into the 9 to 5, which is, I'll get into that as well, fascinating, because my baggage for many, many years, because I've always wanted to put together a web show, and I've always wanted to put together a podcast, and I've always wanted to get more social on Twitter and have things to post for my business and write articles. And I'm an intermittent writer, so that didn't work out, but it will now, because I can just look at this content. But like I said, being as honest as I can, my baggage was everybody's maybes and no's, right? Because it's unprofessional to say, I told you so. But I told you so, and I'm going to tell you so. There is a reason why you're tired and busy, and I can get down into that with you, and I can help because I know what it is, right? And there's so much out there that people don't want to do, especially in business operation. And I'm no different. There's so many things that I don't want to do in business operation because I enjoy other things better, like this, which is crazy because like once I started doing more of this, I enjoyed it more, and it's like because of my confessional, I have that baggage I can just kind of release, right? I can talk about the no's and maybes and compare them to the yeses. And what I mean by that is, say, if I'm going to implement a new strategy that involves brand, modern marketing, modern accounting, modern team building, anything, or even just a simple cloud stack, that would be my modern method, yes, as a pitch. And then if I have on the other side my no's and maybes, well, guess what? Now I can talk about how the no's and maybes make me feel, or what I think, could be the reason why they say no or maybe. And this is fantastic because Monkey Business and Robots is that line. And I get to actually travel it and talk about it in an entertaining way. And so this is my first post, day 1.